Hello and welcome to another episode of Yuck, Dumb, Boo, and Bug, the NES Classic Baseball Review Show. Today is the first day of the Major League Baseball season, or at least the first day of the North American Major League Baseball season, so it seems like the perfect time to play Major League Baseball. This game was made in 1988, so it came out at the same time as National Football League, the very exciting title as well. Obviously, that was the football game. Both of these games have the licenses from the actual leagues, but not from the PA, so there are no player names. However, as is the case with a lot of these, they've got their numbers, their positions, and some of their stats. You'll be able to figure out who a few players are. So you got one player or two player with your options. Regular game, which is going to be AL versus AL or NL versus NL. World Series, which is essentially interleague, and All-Star Game, which is actually interesting. All-Star Game is cool. We're not going to do it because it takes too long, but it allows you to select the roster from all 14 AL or all 12 NL teams and be able to put it together. So we're just going to select a regular game. American League. Let's be, who haven't I been yet in these games? I don't think I've been Milwaukee, so let's be Milwaukee. And we can play against, play against Seattle. Milwaukee and Seattle. So here you go. So you've got your list of infielders, outfielders, and catchers. So you pretty much select your lineup off of that. Obviously, you got to select 4 infielders, 3 outfielders, and 1 catcher. So let's start over here. We've got some really good players because Milwaukee had a couple of good players at the time. You know, Paul Molitor, Robin Yount. So let's go with some of those guys as we select this lineup. We have to scroll between them all, which is a bit of a pain in the butt. But, you know, at the same point in time, it does give you some decent flexibility. And when I say decent flexibility, I really mean only decent flexibility because, here, let's select another outfielder. So we've got all 3 of our outfielders. Here's what happens if I want to select that 4th outfielder to be my DH. It says, do not select. It makes that noise. Your DH has to bat 9th, which seems pointless for a designated hitter. So you have to select all the other positions first. So we've selected our catcher and 3 outfielders. So we need to select 3 more infielders. So who's got decent enough numbers? This guy. Oh, and let's put in this guy with 23 home runs and a .233 batting average. This looks like a team that just simply swung for the fences. All right, there, this other outfielder will be our DH. And now pitchers. So you just have their stats. A lot of different guys have saves on this team, so you have to assume that they're relievers. One of the only guys who isn't and clearly has great numbers because he has 240 strikeouts. There you go. Our 21-game winner. We'll go with him. So press start once we're done, and then they select their lineup at warp speed, which is a lot of flashing and blinking, unfortunately. But there's their lineup as play ball. All right, they have EXT for extras, which I've never seen on one before, but there you go. So we have some beautiful yellow uniforms, by the way. The Brewers, I'm glad they went back to that original logo. I do love that logo. It's how the left fielder threw a bullet in. Worth trying to push towards second because in this game sometimes they'll throw a bullet, sometimes that ball will come in at slow motion. Although sometimes, confusingly enough, that guy's definitely going to get out there. Sometimes, confusingly enough, that ball will come in both fast and slow. It'll go fast for a few frames and then slow for a few frames. So that ball got caught, but fortunately, in this game, they never throw back to the base. They'll only throw ahead of the runner. So long as you catch your guy before he gets to the base, he'll get back in time. No getting doubled off constantly like we saw in Base Wars, where that was happening literally every single inning. Also, unlike Base Wars, you're going to see a lot more offense in this game. Maybe not for me, maybe not initially. I can be very hit and miss at this, but the other team certainly. I think I've given up 8 runs in an inning at least once, 7 runs a couple of times, 6 a couple of times, and this is only playing about a game and a half's worth of action. So nobody's going to get to that ball. Let's see if we can trick him into running it a second. Oh, we did, but that throw to first, particularly for a pitcher, was very slow. It's like he lobbed it to first. And you get a lot of that too, with just kind of lobbed balls. As you'll see. So, now that we're back here, you can move the ball. Can't move it up or down, but you can move it in or out. And that ball just clears the fence. Maybe hit that top fence part. What you'll find out in this game is it's irrelevant. That ball will also go through the fence, which is, I guess, some poor design or design flaw. There's a number of design flaws in this game. They have trouble with foul balls and fair balls, that fast, slow pitch. One of the other neat things is you can get that ball to go in and out on the same batter. Although I don't recommend doing that too much because they usually can crush that ball in that situation. So here's what we're talking about. That ball speeds up and then slows down. Looks like it's an optical illusion, but it's actually happening in the game, so you kind of have to be aware of that. I've seen a crazy number of ground balls to the third baseman. I think we've seen more in this first inning than I have in my, oh, there was another one, but he missed it, in my game and a half of playing this. Let's trick him into going to third. He won't turn around and come back, so there's an easy way to get him out. So only 2 runs in that first inning, although I did kind of trick them into getting out. So I've played this 1 complete game in this thus far. And in that complete game, I was down 13-0 after 2 innings, having trouble getting hits, as you're seeing right now. Then I put up a 7-run inning. Oops, that was a big backfire. And that guy was safe at first, so I don't know what happened there. But like is the case with most of these NES games, they give the fielder some incredible... What just happened? What was that? The ball just went through him. The ball's... Whoa. Whoa, that was weird. It looked like he kind of caught the ball. The bottom of the ball, the actual ball kind of went off the field on the foul side, and the shadow just kept going over the fence. Man, I was talking about this game being glitchy. That's one I haven't seen yet. That was interesting. Very interesting. So, yeah, be prepared for the unexpected here, as you can full well see. Including there where they could have gotten a guy at second base, but instead chose to throw home, despite the fact that that runner is at third and this guy has the ball. Oops, that was a mistake. Fortunately... They took 2 outs. They didn't throw to first. They threw to the catcher. I had a guy running. That was, yeah. So the AI has some issues, and as you can see, there's a number of other weird glitches in this game. That being said, it's still a pretty fun game. I do enjoy it. And, I think given the choice between having a game with virtually no runs and games that have runs scored as easily as that, and that was a legitimate home run that time, I think I would take a game that has, a video game at least, that has more runs. Because it gets kind of boring and it gets kind of frustrating when you can't score. If you can score but the other team can score, that's fine. For me, I think the little bit I've been playing it, that's a fair ball. They just called that foul. This is probably the glitchiest game I have played thus far. As far as any of these go. And I think we're on our 6th episode right now. You can actually catch up with the whole playlist, by the way. It's in the description below. This would have to be the glitchiest of any of the games I've seen thus far. I'm trying to actually rack my brain because I did have the NFL game as well for my NES. And I'm trying to remember if that one was glitchy at all. There were some glitches with it. I don't think to the extent of this. But that ball would kind of, the football at least, would kind of float around a little bit. And you kind of float that ball back to your halfback, and then when your halfback got pressed, you kind of throw it. That game actually also has these little cut-in scenes where you can sort of see the ball or the wide receiver, and they'll just sometimes sort of be flapping their arms, and the ball will just go through it. It's like they've never seen a football before. So I guess that's sort of the closest equivalent to this. As we see that fast, slow ball. That went to the cutoff man, actually. So this play is a guaranteed base hit unless the ball is caught. Because if I don't send my runners, they will just throw home. And they won't bother throwing any other base. So there, I just essentially bunted. By the way, you can't bunt. That's how you bunt. And I wouldn't recommend it because that ball pops in there and the pitcher always gets there. So I've never seen a successful bunt for hint, save for that situation there. So there's a fast, slow ball, but he's going to be safe. He's also going to be safe. And I'm just going to take second because nobody does anything. Again, like RBI baseball, it's kind of an extreme version of that. But RBI baseball, you saw a little bit of that. And that does allow you to score some extra runs, as you can see. They're going to throw home, so I'll let him go to second base on that play. We've taken the lead, which is great, except, we're the home team. And it's 9 innings, although there's no way I'm playing 9 innings. That was an accident. I didn't mean, I kind of tried to check swing. But I'll take the free guy at first base. So let's see if we can hold them off in the bottom of the inning, assuming nothing else really crazy happens. And that's it. They will always throw to the lead runner, even if they have an easy play somewhere else for the force. And sometimes when it's not even a force at all. So we have 12 hits through 3 innings, just like normal baseball. The fact that I've only given up 5 is actually really good by my standards. Because I'm really, really bad at the pitching aspect of this game. And fielding aspect too, as you can see. They're taking their sweet time getting there. So is that ball, which is speeding up and slowing down as it goes. So let's take a minute. And probably should have held up there. And that ball will... They just stop before it gets to the third baseman. So, pitching change. You have no other option. You have to put somebody else in, by the way. You actually can't back out of this screen, which is annoying, because if you press it by accident, or you just simply want to stop the game, there goes your pitcher, or your batter if you're batting. So, let's stick in... doesn't really matter. Okay, I can't seem to move this up or down, so we'll just take this guy. We'll give it our best shot. There, this guy. 39. There you go. You're in the game, bud. He's a right-handed pitcher, so just do the right-handed delivery, which really isn't that much different. You can still move the ball in or out, or both, as you see there. That's always a lot of fun with your right-handed guys. How is that fair? I'll tell you how that's fair. 1, 2. We couldn't get 3 outs. It's fair because every other pitch that goes towards the barrel of the bat winds up being a home run. So, yeah, let's put this in here one more time. Just see my guy waddle to the ball. Only one other thing I didn't show you, not that it's really worth much in this game, but if you want to throw back to a base, you press B in the position of that base. And you see the first baseman looks all excited. He's sort of like wobbling back and forth for the ball. Watch him. Wobbling back and forth. And then he's like, yay, I have the ball. With a huge glove on him at first base. Although in all fairness, if anyone should have a large glove, it's the first baseman. Or the second baseman there. So there you go. That's Major League Baseball. Happy Major League opening day. And we hope you like this. We'll see you again next time.